All afternoon, the usual line of tourists from around the world had descended into the cramped rock cut tomb, some 26 feet underground, to pay their respects. Uh, Tutankhamun was laid to rest in a very confined, cramped, congested rock cut tomb. Uh, so, to pay one's respects, one has to, climb down some 26 feet underground. So there were usual line of tourists from around the world all afternoon. They gazed at the murals on the walls of the burial chamber and peered at Tut's gilded face. They were looking intently at the murals, that means at the paintings on the walls of the burial chamber. The burial chamber has paintings all around. So they were looking intently at the murals, at the paintings, and peered at Tut's gilded face. They were looking at Tut's gilded face also, one mask on the outer coffin lid, which was covered with a layer of gold. So that is the most striking feature of his mummy-shaped outer coffin lid. So people come to see this. So they were looking at Tut's gilded face, the mummy-shaped coffin. Some visitors read from guidebooks in a whisper. Some visitors, they were reading information from the guidebooks, quietly whispering with each other. Others stood silently, perhaps pondering Tut's untimely death in his late teens. So the author says perhaps they were pondering, thinking over Tut's untimely death in his late teens. He was just 19 years old when he had died. So maybe they were thinking about his untimely death, or wondering with a shiver, maybe, a fear had come upon their minds, if the Pharaoh's curse, death or misfortune falling upon those who disturbed him, was really true, because they were at his burial place. So maybe they were thinking about the Pharaoh's curse. So it was all going on in author's mind, but basically he wanted to say that the tomb was busy all day with tourists. The mummy is in bad condition because of what Carter did in the 1920s, said Zahi Hawass, Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, as he leaned over the body for the first long look. Now, Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities means related to ancient times. So Zahi Hawass, he made this statement when he looked at the body of Tutankhamun, that is the mummy of Tutankhamun. He made this statement that mummy is in very bad condition because of what Carter did in the 1920s. And the mummy was discovered in 1920 by Carter only. So he was claiming that the mummy was in bad condition because of the carelessness of Carter when he had found the mummy. Howard Carter, that is, was the British archaeologist who in 1922 discovered Tut's tomb after years of futile searching. After a long searching, he discovered Tut's tomb in 1922, which was a great discovery of that time. Till today, in fact. His name was Howard Carter. He was a British archaeologist. Its contents, though hastily ransacked in antiquity, were surprisingly complete. Its contents were, ransacked in ancient times only. Ransacked in the sense searched thoroughly, maybe for stealing or something, but were surprisingly complete. But not much was lost. So they remain the richest royal collection ever found and have become part of the Pharaoh's legend. Now, so much of gold and so much of riches were found with the dead body with the mummy of Tutankhamun in its burial chamber, that it has become now part of its legend, Pharaoh's story. Stunning artifacts in gold, their eternal brilliance meant to guarantee resurrection. As if gold, artifacts of gold, and their eternal brilliance meant to guarantee resurrection. Lot of riches, solid gold artifacts. Artifacts means objects made by humans, with showing good art and craft skills. Pieces of workmanship in gold, as if they meant, and their eternal brilliance meant to guarantee resurrection. Resurrection means rising from the dead, revival of the soul, as if they would guarantee the revival of the soul. Caused a sensation at the time of the discovery. The riches which were found, the treasure which was found with the mummy, made a sensation at the time of the discovery and still get the most attention. But Tut was also buried with everyday things he would want in the afterlife, and there were other things also for everyday use, like board games, a bronze razor, linen undergarments, cases of food and wine. That means they believed in immortality. They regarded death as a temporary interruption, and to ensure continuity of life after death, people mummified the dead people, and they put all essential items, gold in case of Tutankhamun, because he was from a royal family, lot of riches were placed with the dead body, thinking that the soul would revive. Maybe they would provide for the person's needs in the afterworld. So that made them, in ancient times, that made them bury all the gold and riches and food items, board games, and everyday items with the dead body, because they believed in life after death.